Hello and welcome. We're here with Dr. Thomas Hill, the Vice President of Student Affairs at Iowa State University. He's joined us. He's also a medalist, an Olympic medalist from the 72
games, yes.
72 games. So we're here to interview him on his oral history or his perspective of things in Iowa and how he influenced Iowa and at Iowa State University as a whole. So could you tell us a little bit about where you grew up and and your conditions in your youth?
Okay. I was born and raised in New Orleans. Went through first through the 12th grade in the public school system in New Orleans. Grew up in what they formerly called the Magnolia Project, and it was then renamed the CJP Housing Development. One of 5 sons, raised by a single mother.
So having grown up in those conditions, was there anything that you kind of kept you going from your youth onwards to get an education or to continue on athletics?
Well, I think education was stressed. No, I don't think education was stressed. My mom was a native of Natchez, Mississippi, born in 1909, and she was a high school graduate, which was pretty decent back at that time for African American female coming from the state of Mississippi. But she was a high school graduate, and she valued education, and she instilled that into all of us, into her 5 sons. And so we knew education was really valuable. The athletics came into play as I liked participating, but it clearly became obvious that athletics could be one way of funding my education, and I pretty much understood that early on, but the ultimate goal was to get a good education.
So I take it then with 4 brothers,
Mm-hmm.
you grew up around athletics, you guys participated in a lot of...
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. We were involved in a little bit of everything. I participated in just about everything. Baseball, track, football. I didn't compete in football formally, but when I say I participated in everything, it was the kind of neighborhood where there was always something going on. We had games going on all the time, and I lived in what they call the 6th Street Court. Then there was the LaSalle Street Court, the Taladana Street Court, the Washington Street Court, and what we used to do, we used to have competitions against each other. And so there was always something going on.
Yeah. So did that help you become a star athlete then? Or?
There's no question. There were excellent athletes in the neighborhood, and there was a park within a block from my house, and so we spent an awful lot of time in that park, and so things were very active, I might say.
Okay, that's awesome. So then do you continue to keep in contact with some of the people from your youth, or how does?
Absolutely. We lifelong friends. The people that I grew up with, the people I competed against and with, we still to this day keep in touch.
And so what are some of the lessons that you feel you've learned, you took from your youth that have propelled you into your undergraduate or through your undergraduate times?
Well, the fact that education was important, that was very clear, and that was reinforced all along the way, in the school system, at home, by relatives, by friends, in the neighborhood. Education was really stressed. And one of the goals was to get out of the projects. That was clearly a goal. And so that was a driving force. But the other thing was there was this strong desire to be a success. And